What about those who give the fatwa and they propagate the concept of khuruj and spreading fitna among the Muslims and causing corruption in the land and enticing the people against their leaders and giving the fatwa to revolt and to protest and to demonstrate in the streets, which have led to the so-called Arab Spring, which was nothing but extreme bloodshed and total failure on all fronts. What about those callers of fitna, those so-called scholars and du'at, and those who are actively until now trying to spread mischief and corruption and trying to detach the people from their leaders? Not saying that their leaders are the greatest leaders or even good leaders for this matter. The leaders could actually be corrupt. But then we have the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that the khilafah will be for 30 years. Khilafah will be for 30 years, then it will be a biting kingship, then it will be a tyrannical, tyranny, kingship, and then khilafah will come back upon the way of the prophethood. So those 30 years are the 4 rightly guided khulafa. The 2 years of Abu Bakr, and the 10 years of Umar, and the 12 years of Uthman, and the 6 years of Ali bin Abi Talib radhiallahu anhu. Those are the 30 years that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam spoke about and said those will be the khilafah ala manhaj al-nubuwah, the khilafah upon the way of prophethood. And then it will be kingship. The Prophet ﷺ said it will be kingship. It will be inherited from one father to his son, to his grandson, to his grand-grandson, like we have it today. And people today want to scream, oh, but we want the khilafah. Askut ya rajul. It's already been prophesied by Allah's messenger. And it said it will be tyrannical. It will not be the greatest. And he told us in more than 100 hadith that you need to listen and obey in obedience. You only don't obey when they tell you to disobey Allah. Everything else, no matter how bad it is, you need to remain in line and comply with the sunnah, lest you cause corruption on earth, lest you cause bloodshed on earth and the death of Muslims, which is what we see today, and which is what we've been seeing everywhere. So those scholars of fitna, those ignorant du'at, who entice the people all over right now in the English-speaking world, all these funny people, this guy, what's his name? The and his clan bunch. People and that are just constantly trying to create hatred in the Gulf region. They cannot stand the Gulf region. They want the Gulf region to, they think that somebody's going to come and revolt against these leaders and going to bring another Umar ibn al-Khattab and put him in Khilafah. They are feeble-minded, ignorant people that know nothing about the Quran and the Sunnah. Those are journalists, people that studied, in Harvard or Oxford or I don't know where. They don't know Islam. They haven't studied traditional Islam. They don't know Islam. They don't know Quran and Sunnah. It's ridiculous these people speak on behalf of Muslims. They can't stand the peace and security that the people are enjoying here. And we're not denying that there's a lot of corruption and there's a lot of haram. But there's a way to deal with it as per the sunnah. So be mindful of those. Those companions killed the Sahabi by giving him a wrong fatwa. Then what about the wrong fatwa that led to the death of millions of Muslims? Millions of Muslims. And women were violated. They've been kicked out of their own land. They have no place to go. Their homes are lost. Their properties are lost. Their possessions are lost. They're living off welfare, running around to different kuffar countries who are abusing them and taking care of them to give them shelter and to give them asylum. Wallahi, it's sad. And those people that gave those fatwa and continue to create this kind of rhetoric and this fitna, it's all on their hands and they will have to meet Allah with that. They will have to meet Allah with that. Anything that will happen in this region because of this, any tweet, any statement, any lecture, any word you say where you were part of this kind of revolution or calling to revolting, you will be held responsible for every blood drop that is spilled. Every single drop of blood that is spilled, you, O caller to Islam, who is chilling in the land of kuffar and paying them taxes and living off of them, you will be held accountable before Allah. deliver this message to them, and let's see how brave they will be when they stand in front of Jahannam wal billah.